Good morning. Today we will discuss differentiation of magma. Differentiation of magma is the process by which the originally uniform homogeneous basaltic magma splits up into different type of igneous rocks. Or in other words, the split up of common uniform homogeneous basaltic magma into different type of igneous rocks is known as differentiation of magma. Means all your igneous rocks are formed from a liquid of originally basaltic composition. As you all know that initially it was thought that to date there are different igneous rocks which we have were considered to have been formed from the liquid of that appropriate composition. That was known as many magma theory. But as the knowledge gained in about the Earth's interior, it was said that it is not possible to have magmas of so many type of composition as that igneous rocks varieties. So it was considered that only there can be two types of magma that are possible. One as the acidic, another continental areas, and the other as the basic. The various varieties of rock types, they are formed by the admixture of these two types, acidic and the basic composition magmas. Acidic composition means magma rich in silica and alkalis, whereas basic composition means magma rich in lime and ferromagnesian minerals. So say granite or say granitic rocks, they are formed by the crystallization of the acidic composition, and these basalts, gabbros, they are formed by the from a liquid of the basaltic composition. The intermediate cyanide, trachyte, they are formed by the admixture of these two varieties of magmas, and this was known as two magma theory. But after 1928, when Bowman experimentally proved in the lab that he synthesized liquid of basaltic composition and worked out and found the order of crystallization of different minerals and ultimately the different rock types. And he proved that from that original basaltic composition liquid, different igneous rocks are formed. Since then, it came to the conclusion that magma can only be of one composition when they are formed in the Earth's interior, and that is the basaltic composition, and this is known as single magma theory or one magma theory. So with time and with the advance of knowledge or evolution of the knowledge, it has come now that the magma initially that is generated in the Earth's interior, that is in the 60 to 250 kilometer range, can only be the basaltic composition, because the partial melting of melting with experiments with peridotite, because the rock type there is a in the Earth's interior in the depth range 60 to 250 meters is the peridotite. So partial melting experiments with peridotite at high pressure demonstrated the first formed liquids are of the basaltic composition. So it is now very clear and it is understood that the liquid that is generated by partial melting of the peridotite in that depth range is of the basaltic composition. So from this basaltic composition, the different type of igneous rocks which we see today, they have been formed, and this process was known as the differentiation of the magma. Now this differentiation of magma is brought about by five mechanisms, and the first is the liquid immiscibility, which appears to be very attractive at the first instance. And the second is your fractional crystallization, gravity settling, filter pressing, and gaseous transfer. So these five mechanisms are responsible for bringing out the differentiation of magma. As I told, the first one, that is liquid immiscibility, though it looks attractive at the first instance, but experimentally now it is clear that magma only accepts sulfides and silicates which are miscible at high temperature. With lowering temperature, they separate out different phases. Among silicates, there is no such separation on the basis of their immiscibility. because people used to say there's alkaline water which are miscible at temperature about 166 degree, but below that they separate out at different phases like oil and water. On same model, they thought that silicates may be miscible at high temperatures, but with lowering they must separate out. They must have been separated out in different phases. But now it is very clear. So the accountability of this factor or this mechanism is very less. The second and the most important, most effective mechanism is the fractional crystallization. Fractional crystallization means, you all know that fractional crystallization is formation of different minerals in order of their melting points. The minerals they crystallize from the liquid, they crystallize in order of their melting points. And this was worked out by Enel Baumann that amongst the mafic minerals, it is olivine that crystallizes at around 1550 degree. Then with further lowering temperature, these pyroxenes with further lowering, it's your amphiboles and then your mica except muscovite. And even within the olivines, it will be Mg rich olivine that will crystallize. Similarly, in pyroxenes, it will be Mg rich, then Fe rich, then Ca rich. So this was worked out, and on just you can see in the diagram that I have given this Baumann reaction principle, that is as good as your, in that you can understand the order of crystallization. Then on the right hand side, he has given the order of crystallization of the felsic minerals. Among the felsic, it is the northite. This is the most calcic that crystallizes first, and in the course of crystallization of the lowering temperature, that sodic rich varieties are formed. Then two, these you can say series they merge, and then there is the orthoclase, that is your potash feldspar that crystallizes, and in the end it is the quartz. So from olivine to quartz, the temperature, the olivine crystallizes around 1550, whereas quartz crystallizes 740. The different minerals are formed in order of their melting points. So this fractional crystallization means from in a magma, the minerals are formed fraction by fraction. So once they have formed, naturally the early formed minerals, they are having high specific gravity, or you can say high density, they will tend to settle in the magma chamber, and they will form different layers or horizons, and accordingly the different rock types are formed. For example, say from a liquid, the first mineral olivine that is formed. Suppose the olivine crystallizes, settles at the bottom of the chamber and forms one layer or one horizon, that will be, rock type will be naturally dunite. Right? Then say suppose in an olivine, again that different, you can say the varieties or Fe rich olivines are formed, or you can say with olivine pyroxenes are formed, then olivine pyroxene will form peridotite. Like that, different layering, or you can say layered igneous rock you must have heard, and that cryptic crystallization and all that, that from it is concluded that the early formed minerals, they are found at the bottom, and the later on crystallized minerals are found in order of their crystallizing order, and at the top those minerals are found which are found in the last. So if we ideal sequence in an area of crystallization, we can observe this. Now third, that is called the crystal settling. Crystal settling simple means the crystals which are found early, they have high density and they settle and they form different layers. So the equation, you all know that 2gr square ds minus dl upon 9c determines the rate of settling, whether it is magma or any liquid. The crystals which are there in it, they settle with this rate, with this equation. So naturally the large crystals, denser crystals, they settle early than those which are say lighter or smaller size. The fourth factor is your filter pressing. In filter pressing, instead of settling of the crystals, that liquid is squeezed out into the neighboring rocks, and naturally the composition of the liquid and the crystal is different, and that liquid will crystallize at different rock types. So this is also to have minor accountability in separating out or formation of different rocks from the magma, because that liquid in the neighboring rocks will have different composition of the minerals or the rocks that are going to form, then already it had all the crystals which have been crystallized. And the fifth one, the gaseous time transfer. Again, it's a minor factor. Means particularly in the volcanic rocks, the gases which are there in the magma, they escape and they don't become the part of that rocks that are formed, like sulfur deposits in Italy and all that. So overall speaking, the two main dominating or the most important that is the fractional crystallization followed by gravity settling, is the main reason or the main factors that are responsible in bringing out the differentiation of magma. So today it is very clear that initially the magma which is generated is of the basaltic composition, and from that basaltic composition the different igneous rocks are formed, and this is, you all know, I have explained, that is the differentiation of the magma, and it is broadly, or you can say mainly, it is carried out by the fractional crystallization followed by crystal settling. So after 1928, because no one can study the crystallization of magma in nature, the reasons are very clear, that first of all, to crystallize a crop of crystals it takes billions of years, where the lifespan of an individual is say 100 years. So in his lifespan he cannot study the complete crystallization of an magma. Second, because the temperature is so high, one cannot go near, otherwise it will, if he goes, he will become the component of the magma. So this Enel Bowman in 1928 he synthesized magma basaltic composition and studied the order of crystallization experimentally, and since then it is very clear that initially the magma, and the result of his experiment was that from that basaltic magma different minerals, he found that different minerals are found in order of the decreasing melting points, and also if they are permitted, or they will settle according to the density, and they will form different rock types. So from that Bowman reaction principle, that fractional crystallization, or you can say from 1928, it is very clear that the igneous rocks can be formed from a liquid of the basaltic composition, and that process is known as your differentiation magma. So this is all for today. If you have any doubts, you can communicate by any on any media. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you very much.